Greetings, dear sweet soul, spirit soul, dear precious one. Yeah, we're all in this together, you know. And the sooner we awaken to who we really are and know that and are that, the sooner we all get to celebrate together. My topic: forgiveness is not forgetting. That's a good one. Forgiveness is not forgetting, because, see, it's like someone will say, well, you got to forgive all these people. What does that mean? You let them keep doing that? You mean you keep participating again? You come back again for another knockdown or whatever because you forgave them? No, that's not. And you see, forgiving means that you start giving again. That means you allow yourself to keep flowing, because when we have resentment, if we have resentment or carry grudges or anger or hatred towards someone because we've been hurt or we believe we've been hurt, but the mind makes up stories. You got to get this. That's why everybody thinks they're right. That's what you've got, this kind of a loser, kind of a, what would you call, like a simulate, it's similar to metaphysics, but it, what may I say, it doesn't give you the full truth. So there's a lot of, it's so interesting how people will drag out Jesus to say, I'm channeling Jesus. Well, how are you going to prove this or not? Because just coming from that person's mouth and through their mind. But they're going, and how many people will just run out there and believe that, oh, he's channeling this and he's channeling that, and all these people who are gone are not here, and so I'll place my faith in these people. But to me, the teachings of Yeshua were about, if I can do this, so can you, whatever that may be. And it wasn't about us, what would you say, forgiving others. Say how great I am, I've forgiven you, you jerk. It's about realizing how you took part in that situation with that person that you now believe you need to forgive them for, or forgive yourself for doing it. Guilt is a major, what would you say, concept that tortures people, keeps people in nostalgia, sentimentality, feeling horrible at certain holiday seasons and birthdays, so-called, and all of that, because of who isn't here anymore, the presents you never got, that you spent more money on one child and less on another. And it's all of this. People make up all these stories. So if somebody's walking down the street, they're just not walking down the street as someone being. In their mind, they've got stories and narratives, and there's confusion, and who am I, and who are you, and what do you think of me, and do you like me or don't you like me because I didn't go along with you, and maybe you won't ever talk to me again. See, you got to learn to be self-reliant. And in the self-reliant situation, you're observing and you're witnessing yourself, how the mind is operating. You're noticing your inner guidance. You're centered. You're aware of others. You're not just trying to analyze and figure them out all the time, but you are aware of what they're doing and who they are. Forgiveness doesn't mean you bring them back again into your life, because how you know someone is no longer doing it is because they're not doing it anymore. They don't tell you they're not going to do it anymore. They're just not doing it anymore. They're doing something else. So this forgiveness doesn't mean you forget. And the thing of forgetting is it's forgetting something. You want to get something. So I'm forgiving you, and I'm going to forget something because there's still something there I think I'm going to get, even though, you know what it is? Okay. Did you know that rats, there's a story that says that rats are probably more smarter than humans? And I'll tell you why. Because they did a little test, and it was with, I've got this, it's bone chilling out here, but it's great, okay, out here at the lake. And what happens was this, forgot what I was saying. I got all caught up in how cold it was. But this thing about how we hold these people as if they did something to us. I have to tell you, when you use it properly, you don't need to forgive anyone because you know why they did it, because they've been programmed. You know why they did it. They're following a script. You know why they did it. It's the same language, same narrative, same words, same stories that they've been saying forever, and everybody else is saying, because that's just the way it's going. And you're not going to forgive them, which means, but it's an understanding or an understanding. You don't stand under anything. Understanding of why they did it, because you notice where they are, because most everybody is operating from the mind, and the mind operates on this guilt, and that guilt and that shame, and that causes a sentimentality. My mom, she was plagued with, my dad's last year before he died, was I just bought him a carton of cigarettes. I didn't give him any. There's always something that just takes you back there so you can just commiserate and feel bad, and you were making all the Christmas presents under the tree, and nobody was there, and it was all by yourself, and they do those movies and make you feel, bringing out your sentimentality and your tears and your fears and your self-pity. This is what it's doing. And I have to tell you what I learned about this forgiving thing that really worked for me was to realize that God's showing up, in a sense, with these other situations. And when you realize that somehow this is a reflection of where you are in consciousness, as you had brought this to you or were part of it or involved in it, that you need to forgive yourself in that sense. That means to start giving again, start flowing your talents and your abilities, start allowing yourself. See, why is it that people need to prove they've been harmed or hurt? And it was years ago. It's not even there. It's in the mind. It's in the memory. And the memory is going to keep bringing you back into the past. So people are creating their future out of the past. So it's never different. It's called samsara. It's the wheel. It's the reincarnation situation, because you carnate again as carne, meat, because that's what carne is. You look at what the language tells you. That's why I write books. And then more and more being a wordsmith to actually to know what these words do to people. Someone could just hear a word and go, ah, or someone else could hear a word and go, ah. You know what I'm saying? Why do you let words dictate to you how you feel and what you do? So when you get that, whatever's going on, if you own it and notice it's your reaction, and notice it's coming through your mind and your thoughts and your stories, just as they're doing, and then taking all of this and internalizing it, and then deciding you're not good enough and nobody loves you, and you don't have enough and you'll never have enough because, you're never good enough, and they're better and they have more, and you never made it, and you try but you're not there yet. So it's always a sorrow and it isn't interesting. Some people, their names, someone whose name's Sorrows. I mean, do they bring sorrows to everybody? Because someone else, their name might be Mr. Fit, and they're real strong and they're real fit, and you go, and there's somebody else, and I even look at the word Whittaker. Well, that was a husband's name, Whittaker. I don't want to take anybody's wit or whatever the wit may be, or coal or cold or a piece of coal. No. So these are names or they're labels. And actually, I was born rich. My maiden name was Rich, Terry Rich. It was Reich, but German. And so interesting thing is when people say, well, how come you're so fortunate? Well, I was born rich. What does it mean? My mother and father are wealthy. They have everything, and I'm their only child, and they give me everything that I desire and need. And yours too. This is true about all of us. You see. So as long as we're gathering evidence to prove how we've been harmed or hurt, as long as we're gathering evidence to prove what a loser we are, as long as we're out there, but it's not about forgetting it. because that's part of your wisdom. But not to hold the grudge, not to hate, not to resent, not to feel like a fool, not to be so embarrassed you never show your face again to what these people think. They're all thinking the same thing you are. I thought it was really strange that government says, or somebody says, we've got a machine that can read your thoughts. Well, of course it can read your thoughts. It's pumping out the thoughts. We don't want you to think that. Oh, really? Most people, they can't control their thoughts, and their thoughts are driving them crazy. Okay? Because they don't meditate. They don't work on it. They don't seek out teachers and situations to actually help them and work through that so they come out on the other side. Forgive, but it doesn't mean forgetting. To remember who you are. And it's about faith. Who and what do you have your faith in? So, in conclusion, just notice, what's all that doing to you? What's all that holding? What are you trying to prove out there? Who you got a grudge against? Who didn't do it right? What brother? What sister? What mother? What father? What teacher? What government leader? What religious leader? What all this blah 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 blah. Wait a minute, that's gone. It's right now, and if you start right now in this moment, you can have a divine life in every way, and that's why Michael and I do these for you, Adventures in Enlightenment, do all of these videos for you. That's why the books are out there. Live Your Bliss, Dare to Be Great, all these books, Inner Path, From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be, Love and Power in a World Without Limits, A Woman's Guide to the Goddess Within. I've been studying this for years, consciously in this lifetime, since I was about 16 or 17, 15, I guess, really. Looking for God. I want to know, who am I? What am I? What's real? What's possible? All is possible to all of us, each and every one of us. This is the greatest work that there is. The greatest investment is that you do in studying this knowledge that's coming out to you through these wonderful YouTube videos, these courses, these classes, because over 600 videos, you make your own course, your own class. People say, well, how do I start? Use your intuition. Well, I have to have the course laid out for me. Make up your own. Get your friends over there. Get it going together. Take back your life. You're an eternal being, not just a meat stick in a temporary situation. This is where it's happening with you, my darling, my beloved. So, all is well. Take back your power right now.